Then, of course, last step, you throw the remaining soil across the grave. You just close it with them, the entire thing. And at this point, we have to uh, completely close the grave. And actually, all the soil that was taken out when we were digging the grave, if we put all the soil back into the grave, you will see that there's more soil. So there's like a little bit heap on the top. So that is fine. I mean, generally speaking, we will cover this in do's and don'ts of graves. There are a lot of mistakes that people do of raising the graves high. We'll go that detailedly, but it is not allowed for us to raise the grave very high. Like people have until like 4 or 5 feet. That's not allowed in Sharia. So, but hand span up to hand span of feet, that's okay. Like this much, it's fine, because that's when the body has displaced some soil. So obviously, there's going to be an increase in the overall height of the grave. And actually, it is important that we raise it to a handspan. In fact, Prophet Muhammad's grave was also a handspan more. And the scholar said that this is important because we have to make sure that that grave exists. And we will cover that as well, that there are a lot of rulings for the graves there. We cannot just sit on it, stand on it, cannot walk towards them. There is very strict warning for those people who do that. So there has to be an indication that grave exists there. So that's why we raise handspan. But if we do more, then we are in trouble, because there's a strong hadith against it. We must raise it to a large amount of height. So basically, preserving the disrespect and abuse. And so some people try to bring like additional soil from elsewhere. No, you don't really need it. That soil that was used for digging is sufficient. You see how flat these graves are. By time, it goes, it just becomes flat. But at the time, the entire soil is on the top. We have to make it like in the form of a mound, like a form of a heap, just not like random. But we have to make sure it shouldn't be flat. It should be like little bit raised, and a pile of earth from all across, and arranged nicely in the form of a mound. And again, the evidence is Prophet Muhammad's grave was mounded, so that's why we do that. Not like making a structure out of it, but just to indicate that the grave exists. And then we sprinkle water on the grave. Why do we do that? Why do we sprinkle water? Because just to make sure that the soil gets settled in the grave. It's because if it's windy, what's going to happen? The wind is going to take away the soil and it will fly all over. So just to make the soil get settled and not fly around, we do that. But actually, people have this false beliefs. They say that, hey, you know what? If we put water, it's gonna like maybe cool down the disease, or something related to that. These incorrect beliefs, that's a problem. If somebody is doing like that, then it's wrong. That should be avoided. And then what we do is placing a stone. So you see these stones, that's how it should be. And we'll cover again what people do, to what extent they go, what big domes they have, and all names and everything. But it should be there should be just one stone, just to indicate that the grave exists, so that we respect the grave. It's like a home of the person.
Is there any names written on the stones?
No, but some scholars said that it is okay. We're going to cover that, why they said that. But generally, it shouldn't be like large stone. Should just a small stone like that you see in that image. It's actually, where this is from. I took this from the image of Jannat al-Baqi, or Baqi al-Marfad. Maybe if we have time, inshallah, we will talk about the history and the current status of Baqi al-Marfad, if time permits. But that's how it should be. And but why should we really do this stone, apart from recognizing it as a grave? The first person who was buried in Baqi al-Marqad, his name was, one of the first one was that his name was Sayyidina Uthman ibn Mazun. He was buried there. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he said that, bury him with those who will die of his family. So basically he was saying that person who was buried in Baqi, his family members, they can also be buried in a safe grave. So make it a mark there so people know that this is this person's grave. So some scholars said that you can just make some mark or maybe write a name, but you should not write in a fancy name. But generally it is not required, and people should try to stay away from it. But people write like Quran verses and son of so and so and so and so. There's a lot of problems. We will see. We will cover those inshallah. But it should be very simple. That's how the Sunnah is. All the Sahaba and all the graves that you see, everything is simple. None of them have names. And actually, there's a hadith in An-Nasai, a Sahih hadith, where Prophet Muhammad explicitly said that do not write on them, do not write on the graves. Right. So now we have done everything. Grave is mounded, stone is placed, water is sprinkled. The most important thing that we have to do now is make dua for the deceased. And Prophet Muhammad said that he raised his hands and he told the people that ask forgiveness for your brother. Ask forgiveness for your brother because, and also ask that he be firm. He be firm. Firm against what? So when a person is in the grave, we will discuss how the soul experiences and everything. But as we know, the very first thing that happens in the grave is that people in the grave are supposed to answer the angels who come. They ask 3 questions and so on. So at that time, it is very important that the person is very firm and very calm while answering him. So we make dua for it. So what exactly should we make dua for that person? First thing, of course, that there are a few points that we should remember at this point. Make sure that that the person doesn't get punished in the grave. That's very important. And then again, he be steadfast and firm while he is being questioned in the grave, and his life in the grave be very good and easy for him, and that his grave is expanded and the light is this is the form of light for him in the grave. We will discuss that how the deceased will feel in the grave, how his grave will be expanded or shrunk, and what kind of punishments happen, inshallah, if time permits. And apart from that, you can also add the general things like Allah give him Jannah, protect him from the fire, mercy and forgiveness, all those things. But very important, steadfastness while he's being questioned. That is very important here.